Okay, and now for the better review here for the second film I saw today, which I liked a lot, very much liked. This is a movie that actually, these type of movies are the movies I really like. And this movie, so I guess the guy's name is Danny Leon. That's the guy's name. That he was in college at the time studying photography, and he rides out with the what do you call the Vangles, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a real motorcycle gang. Well, in the initial beginning, it wasn't a gang, right? But then, was it that Johnny gets killed because the kid did him dirty, right? The kid, he said the kid came in. When did this kid? Because they're interviewing, he's talking to the Well, let me backtrack to it, right? So he rode with them into 79, I think it was. He said, or 69. It was 65, like 69 ish or whatever. Well, actually, they tell you in the beginning of the film, like the time frame, like this happens within this time frame in this film. But what you got to know is that the kid, because he was in college at the time and riding with them, when he finishes college, he starts riding. I think it was in 69. He finishes college and he actually, he packs up. He goes to New York. But he comes back later. I think it's 1973 interview with with Benny's wife. And he comes back because he wants to know what happened to the gang. Because the gang has changed, right? The kid kills Johnny. We know that. And the kid did him dirty, right? Because Johnny, people challenge him. And I think, and Johnny invites this. Johnny said, because then we know in the first challenge that we see in the film with the big fat red guy, that I think they call him Big Red. And the other lady said, no, he was like big fat guy. They call him fat. Because, but all he's a big guy and he challenges him. And I like when he says to Johnny, because Johnny asks him, he says, knives or fist, right? Fist or knives. And he says, well, I don't want to kill you, so fist. Like, I'm challenging you because you gave it an open invitation. We disagree with you. We can challenge you and settle it with, I guess, a fight, because it just has to be a fight. It can be a race. And so... But he tells him that I don't want to kill you. Like, it's not that fucking serious. They don't open a chapter in Milwaukee. And then we see, because, Johnny basically won the fight, right? And Johnny plays dirty. He fights dirty. He's not as big, and she says that, he's not as big as some of the guys that he fights. But he plays dirty. He bit his leg, then he broke his fucking finger. And the guy even says to Johnny, you broke my finger. And he's like, yeah, I guess I did. Yeah, I guess I did. I broke your fucking finger. I love Tom Hardy in this film. It's awesome. They have a lot of well-known actors in this film. I was looking at it at the track listing, right? I'm like, I recognize that actor. Oh my god, they look familiar. I'm looking at people, they look familiar, and then I recognize them. What was I thinking of in my head? But yeah, the kid did him dirty. The kid is, I recognize him from the Royal Hotel, which is another film that I really enjoyed a lot too. I like the cinematography in that film in particular. I like when people were talking about the film, they call it a lesbian, I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was lesbian, no, it was feminist. They call it feminist horror or something like that. It's, but I'm getting off track here. Let me get back on track. It's, yeah, that kid fucking, cause he brought a gun to a knife fight and he just shoots him. And I like that he's straight day. We don't see him any last words or anything like that. The kid looks down, and we see him eyes open, still face. He's dead. Yeah. Oh wow, you killed him. Johnny's dead. And the other two gentlemen that get in the car that we get introduced to in the beginning, they actually, she says that, right? As far as I'm concerned, they're still Vangles. Actually, they still riding. They're riding with this kid because the kid's the owner. The kid's in charge now. He keep calling the shots and shit. It's what else I was thinking? And we see the first time when the kid comes in, well, we see he has a bad home life, right? And the mom says, get out of here, don't come back. And then she's remorseful afterwards, but presumably he doesn't come back. But I guess his life was spiraling down, because we even see with the kid, we see that they're stealing hubcaps off a car, him and his friends. It's and then when he first sees Johnny ride by, he's captivated by Johnny. Not just Johnny, the biking gang in general. And him and his friends even try out their own bikes. They come by the first time is the big picnic thing that they do, the biker gang picnic. It's that's the first time that they're coming through to they're interested in getting involved. It's but it's not until a little bit later in the film when they come to the bar. And it's the same bar too. It's the spot, right? And it's at this cross section. It's basically some downtown or perhaps some small town. It's or like some, some small commercial center, like a community of some sort, right? Because they said Chicago, but I think we're probably like in the suburbs of Chicago, right? We're in the general vicinity of Chicago. I think we're not quite within the city itself, maybe not even in Cook County, right? But what was I thinking in my head? I was thinking of something. You probably can hear the rain hitting my car right now. It's raining a little bit right now. But what I was thinking in my head just now. Oh my gosh. Johnny, the kid. Yeah, I like when Johnny does this test for him. He says, like, you're in, right? Johnny tells him, well, okay, you really want to be in the gang. You really want to be a Vangle. You're in. But then he stops Johnny. Then he stops the kid. Because he says to the kid, you're in, but your friends are. They're not. So either you got to join in, you got to leave your friends. And the kid walks up and he puts his hand out. He says, no. He said, what kind of asshole? You're an asshole. What kind of friend are you? You got to just abandon your friends just like that? And then, because I guess that's the test of loyalty. Would he be loyal to his friends or loyal to what he wants? And he prioritizes himself, what he wants. But I guess his friends stick with him. Well, they do stick with him, actually. It's not even, I guess. Because we see later in the film when he challenges Johnny, when he comes in broad daylight in the bar to challenge him, and he says, fist or knives? And he says, knives. I want to do the knives. In which Johnny actually has a knife, and he's got I like that he's got brass knuckles. Because I guess if we're going to fight dirty, then, honey, I got the other hand's got to have some weapon of some sort, too. But, I like that little detail there with his friend. They were the same faces that we saw from earlier. They were there. So we got, like, even though the friends were there and he walked forward, leaving the friends behind, they stood with him, right? And Johnny even asks, he asks Benny, because I guess they particularly were very close, those two men in particular. And the wife even said, I know you love him. You love him like a brother. I know you have that love for him because I have it too. And that's what he's got to leave the gang. He's got to kill him if he stays in this gang. It's, because she tells, like, he gets an injury, right? And she says this. I'm kind of losing track here. I know I just lost track with what I was going to say before, but let me finish this sentence, right? But, Johnny gets, like, he always wears his colors, right? He always wears his vest and everything. But the vest is kind of dangerous. She mentioned the guy was interviewing her, and he said, like, when the guys are alone, they don't wear it, right? And she said, yeah, they're scared because they know they got to get problems. They got to get jumped. They're going to get beat up. A lot of people, they don't like them. They got issues with the Vangles gang, but they have protection in number. If it's a group of them, you mess with one, you got to mess with all of them, right? But it changes if they're alone. But with Johnny, I guess he was really loyal. He liked riding. He liked riding the motorcycle. He liked the gang. He was loyal to the gang, right? He was one of the head honchos. Basically, he was like kind of an old member in there, right? One of the OGs. And they talk about there's a divide between the old guys and the new guys, right? There's a divide here going on with the gang, right? But what do you call what was I thinking in my head? Oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought everywhere. But I guess, it's a happy ending for Johnny. They move back to Florida, because she mentions in the film, she mentions, this is actually after the traumatic incident, which I'll get into in a moment here, when she tells Johnny, hey, you got a cousin. Don't you have, like, a cousin? I don't know if she says cousin or relative. She mentions, they got something in Florida we can go to. There's something there for us. Why don't we do that? And they do end up doing that, but it's only after Johnny dies. And, what's his name? Benny comes, I think his name's Benjamin Cross. And that's his name, Benjamin Cross. It's only after the fact. It's only after the fact that the homicide takes place that he comes back to the house and he breaks down in her arms crying, right? Because that was his friend. That was, someone that he loved dearly. And he was just killed, cold blood, straight up, a knife fight. Brought a gun to a knife fight, the kid, right? It was sad too. I really liked this character as well. I wasn't expecting that. But he would tell Johnny, he said, I want you to take over the club. It's got to be you. There was a scene when they first discussed this. I had to use the bathrooms. I went to the bathroom. So I'm not quite sure what I missed when I went to the bathroom in that scene, but and another thing I like in that scene was Michael Shannon's character, that he's from Latvia, right? Or Latvian descent. That he's talking about how the brother got to go in the army, but they rejected him. And he passed the physical by the psychologist didn't pass him. He said, you're undesirable. We don't need you, right? Basically. And this really upset him, right? This really upset this guy, his character, right? And he said, I wanted to go. Yeah, and he's got, I did these pinto. That's what he calls them, pintos. Which I guess is what people call snowflake or soy boy. You know, like this term, oh, you're not a real man, you're a pinto. I hate pintos. It's, but yeah, that's what, how do you call it? What was I thinking in my head? With his character, he was talking about that. I like when he was talking about how, you know, that's what they told me. So we don't want you. Get out of here. We don't want you in the army. And he was very upset about that. And he says, you know, I was pissed. I cursed him out and I said, fuck you. You know, I was pissed. I was upset. And then they got these draft dodgers. They're burning their draft cards because I don't want to go. And here I am. I want to go. I want to go to Vietnam. And then you got these people here that they don't want to go, and they got to force them to go. It's like, why not? Hey, if you want to go, come and join us. If you don't, that's all fine and dandy. It's, and they mentioned this in the gang, how they had the people coming back from Vietnam and how they were different. They were not they were the pot smokers. And then when we see in the house scene, this is where the traumatic scene happens. It happens at this house. I don't know whose house this is. It's somebody's fucking house. Which, it almost sounds like maybe it was, like maybe, because she says, if I got upstairs, I would have blown my head off with your gun. But it's no way, like in that scene where he's looking through the drawer, that it's that house. I don't think it's that house. I don't think so. But, and this is when Cockroach gets beat up, because Cockroach is talking to these guys, which I guess they're new guys. And he mentions, hey, I'm thinking about retiring, thinking about leaving the gang. I want to be a police officer. And he said, what better job than I get paid to sit on a Harley Davidson all day? It's, you know, I still ride my bike, I still ride, but I got a job that's more respectful. It's got some dignity behind it, you know, I protect the community. And I get to sit on my bike all day. I like bikes, right? But, what was I thinking in my head? Yeah, the traumatic scene. This scene, and you felt the writing on the wall. Now, I get, there was a moment, so there's this girl in the red, right? And we see if she's dancing. She looks good, actually. Like, I was like, wow, you know, she's attractive. I can see why everybody's kind of captivated by her. Kathy makes a comment that her dress is very pretty. Oh, well, that dress is really nice. I would think I would look good in a red dress. And it was the Sunny guy and one of the OG biker guys and this guy from California named Sunny that he's riding with them. My device is getting hot, so I gotta speed this up here in a minute, but it's kind of got some cold air blowing here. 49, pay attention to the time somewhat, so I don't, but you know, she almost gets raped, right? And like she says that if I was taken upstairs, I would have blown my head off. You know, like that's such a traumatic thing for someone to go through. I can get what she's saying. Like I didn't want to have to experience that trauma. And then she says, like, who will want someone after that? She says that, right? She, like, even herself, she'll feel disgusted with herself, right? Like, who will want somebody after being used in that way? It's and she said that was like a catalyst to like say, hey, we got to get out of this gang stuff, you know. And she's telling this to Benny because Benny had to go take Cockroach to the hospital because he had just got beaten up by the new guys for saying that he wanted to retire. Basically, that's what it was. I want to retire. I don't want to be in the gang anymore. And so now they're saying they're gonna fucking beat me up and shit. I mean, not fucking beat. They did beat me up. They did beat him up. They assaulted him, right? And but she wears the red dress, and one of the things the guy says to Johnny when he's confronting, like, why are you trying to rape this woman? Why are you trying to rape Kathy? Why are you trying to rape anybody? And he said, hey man, we're just trying to get our turn with her. And I think even that scene, you can still hear some moans coming from upstairs. So the woman, because we know that the woman in the red, the way they got the dress was she took some fellows, that's what they said. And the two gentlemen that gave Kathy the dress, they said that she took some fellers upstairs. That's what it was. Because Kathy asked, what is she wearing now? Like, this is her dress. What is she wearing then? And they said, oh, don't worry about it. She took some men upstairs. So it's all good, right? You know, she's busy right now. It's so when these guys are looking at her, and I think it's probably just an excuse, right? They know like it's not her, but they tell him, oh, you know, we just wanted our turn with the girl in the red. They said the girl in the red, she's like she's open. You're gonna fuck everybody. You want to fuck? She wants to fuck too. It's oh god, that scene was scary. And you can feel the tension. You can feel it when Kathy was sitting there. When she wasn't sitting, she was standing, leaning against the wall, because all the men have left to go attend outside the cockroach. And when she's there leaning on the wall, she's looking back, and we see them looking at her like a piece of meat, you know, with that type of look. And she's looking at the door, and you could see like the tension. Like, you know, I should probably walk out that door. I should probably go outside and start looking for them. I shouldn't just stand here. It's and then it's scary because like all this commotion is happening. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's doing anything. And, you know, that's what's so scary. That scene was scary. It was traumatizing. You know, Johnny asked in that moment, "Hey, Kathy, are you okay?" And she's like, she thinks, I don't know if she says no. I think she says no quietly. But like, yeah, no shit, I'm not okay. I literally almost got fucking raped, bro. I almost got fucking, like she said, I don't know what would have happened had they actually successfully dragged me upstairs. What would have happened to me? This movie was intense. I like when Benny's running from the police officers, and the police actually chase him into the countryside. I thought that was funny. I think it was like 11 cop cars, 11 vehicles that were in pursuit of him. I like that he runs out of gasoline, so he just stops on the side of the road, and we don't hear the sirens. I like how we have a pause of silence, and then we hear the sirens coming up, and then we see the cop cars, and they're speeding down. They want to get him. I thought that was a cool kind of little sequence there, how they actually chased after him. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, the Bikeriders gets a 5-star rating from me. I really like this film. I liked it a lot. This is the kind of film that I actually enjoy watching, these kind of movies. And I love that in the end credits we actually get pictures of the real people, and we get a picture, like, so I guess that we have to, like, you know, because they're kind of basing the look of the person, right? So the only one I caught with the look was, well, I guess Kathy, because we see her, and then the blonde guy in the motorcycle, that has to be Benny. And then they have the dude, because they have one scene where they show Cockroach with his, presumably his wife and child, with the fence, when he has like a tattoo with a spider in his arm. And I said, holy shit, he did. The character in the movie, the actor, did have like the makeup like that, right? The fake tattoo like that. So that was really cool. That was really awesome to see the picture. And then we get the, you know, it's called the Bikeriders. Danny Leon. It's a book by Danny Leon called The Bikeriders. This is a good movie. I really like this film. It's the kind of movie that I really like. 5-star rating from me. I'm gonna wrap this up because this phone is getting hot. If you listen to this review and you agree, hey, we're on the same page. I really like this. I really enjoyed it. And the film and the music, the little song at the end is really nice too. I got it on Shazam. I can't wait to add it to my like songs on Spotify. Yeah. Thank you for watching, or listening rather.